Hey everyone, so it's at that time of year where I do my garden tour. I think this is the 7th one, it's 2025. There's a red bay laurel right there. It's really starting to put out some leaves, so we haven't used it. You use the leaves on this for spice. Move on over here to the side yard. For those that haven't seen my garden tours before, I'm in Central Florida, Zone 9B. Our winter this year we didn't have any freezes, but we did have long stretches of 40-degree weather at night. Over here's a Ceranum cherry. Hurricane Milton did bend this around a bit, so I did have to trim it, but it's bushing up real nicely. I'd like to keep it as a hedge, so we'll just kind of keep it this size, but it was much taller than this, but you can see how nicely it filled in. And behind it I do have some pineapples producing. Typically I lose about half of them to raccoons, but raccoons haven't got any this year. We're inundated with pineapples right now because they're ripening. Back there's a Grumichama. So the main trunk of that started leaning over, but it's shooting up new shoots there. You can see like right there. So I'm letting that form a hedge. So it's fine just like that. Some more pineapples. This is a Jujube from seed. It looks really bad in the spring. Spring's typically real dry for us, and we had a really dry spring. But now that we got the summer rains going, you can see that growth on there. More pineapples. This one's ripening here, so I'll probably come back and pick it. I would love to let them go yellow on the plant because they taste much better, but when you do that, the raccoons get them, so I'll be picking that one later. You can see the yellow centers on those, I guess you can call them pineapple cells there. Our mango tree here, this is from seed. I mentioned this before, that it's called a pineapple mango, or at least the guy that sold it to me called it a pineapple mango. As you can see, it's inundated. I'm using this tree here, this Taganbulia tree, to prop up those branches. They had so many mangoes on this. And I've picked a ton of them already, so this is probably going to provide us fruit for another, I don't know, month or so. We'll go on back here. Turk's cap hibiscus hedge. And I'm going to butcher the name as usual. I got to figure out how to pronounce this one. Hichiwa persimmon. See that name there. It actually has some fruit on it this year. This may be the second or third summer that I've had it. So it's doing pretty good. It's already producing persimmons. These are astringent, so I have to wait till they fully develop on into the winter before I can eat these. So good handful of persimmons on there. So citrus that I transplanted over from my aunt who was moving. They're holding up, they're looking good. As you can see, I kind of got them in a polyculture here so that they're not an easy target for I think it's the little aphid that causes citrus greening. Donny avocado is growing tall. I do, however, need to straighten it out. It just kind of wants to lean, so I need to put a stronger pole there. This right here is my Hugel-mount. And you can see these enamel bananas looking pretty good. Because of our long stints of cold during the winter, like I said, we didn't have any freezing, but we just had longer periods of cold weather. Bananas took that kind of hard. They've recovered, but I typically have bananas forming at this point in the summer. Probably won't happen until on into the fall, so hopefully I'll get some bananas before it gets cold again. More pineapples there. You'll see mulberries in here. The mulberries ended up in here because I put cuttings in here to start and I never removed them. So this is my tallest banana. I don't know what variety it is. I thought it was a dwarf Brazilian, but it's clearly not dwarf Brazilian because it's my tallest banana. And then here's my Lacatan. I want to get some more pups off of this one because I want to find it a better home. Give it some more sun. It's my favorite variety that I have here. Another mulberry tree. I need to get that one out of there. This is a wild grapefruit. Just started growing here before I even moved in. And I just kind of let it do its thing. I see 4 grapefruit on there. What I need to do is show it a little love when the fruit is forming. Start watering it more, and maybe I'll get more fruit off on it. This loquat that's in the shade finally produced for me this year. Typically you don't put them in the shade. It was just really the only spot I had for it at the time. It's a really good loquat. They're really pretty sweet. Starfruit. Starfruit didn't like the cold, but it's recovered just fine. Let me see if I get a good shot of that one. And then dwarf Puerto Rican plantain, looking pretty good. This right here is the LJ avocado. That's what I named it. That's the initials of my grandmother, who planted it from seed and then gave it to me, and then I eventually put it here in this spot. And it produced last year. This is the second year it produced. First year it produced 1. Last year it produced, we lost count. But it's a late season avocado. We started harvesting the avocados in October, and that was because of Hurricane Milton knocked down a bunch of them, but they weren't ready yet. They just weren't that good. But then we started picking them in late November, and they were excellent. And typically a Florida avocado is really watery, but my wife really liked the oil content of this one and was just really pleased with it. So yeah, from late November on into March, beginning of March, we were eating avocados off this tree. So definitely a good one to have. Thank you, Grandma. And then here's a dwarf Namois, looking really good. It's probably the tallest I've seen that the dwarf Namois grow. Just looking real thick. This is a mango from seed from the mother tree, the Hayden. I'll show you here in a minute. And then dwarf Cavendish. Another mango from seed from the Hayden. Right there. And then here's the Hayden. It's looking really good. So the pot that I have on there is my attempt to block the raccoons from climbing up. I do have a trail cam on this to see if it actually works. I'll put a video out there if it does. But yeah, lots of Hayden mangoes, and they were excellent this year. I think because Hayden is more susceptible to diseases, it's a good year for Haydens because we didn't get a lot of rain during the late winter through the spring, and the rains didn't start until pretty late this summer. And because of that, I think the fruit was able to develop properly. And because last year the Haydens, I think they got jelly seed. I think that's what they call it, where it over ripened in the middle, kind of rotted in the middle. This year you can see it kind of wants to do that, but they still taste excellent. That's where if you have kind of a diverse portfolio of plants and varieties, they'll do well based on the conditions. So like where that first mango that I showed you, the mangoes didn't taste as good, but this Hayden here did much better because of those dry conditions. So one could have used more rain. This one was better without the rain, and I just watered it by hand. Down here I have just a kind of a little shrub area. This right here is a mulberry, a native red mulberry from Maryland. I grew it from a little mulberry that I put in the ground, and the seeds started growing. I got another one much larger in the back. Batanga tuba. I think this is oyster shell plant. That's a sugar apple. Citrus from seed. White jaboticaba. This is a Sanford Jaboticaba from Flying Fox Farm. I think it's a hybrid that Adam came up with. So if you never heard of Lottie Plaza, hopefully I said that correctly. It's an Oriental chain grocery store, and they had a clearance on fruit trees. I wasn't like looking out for any stone fruit, but I got this. Let me see, this is a Sun Home, which I think is a nectarine. And then this I actually got from Cody Cove Farm. This is a Chiang Mai mulberry. The reason why I got it is because it's a commercial variety, so it produces a large amount of mulberries. I have mulberries on the property that are really good. The only thing is I can't produce a large quantity at one time. They produce a lot, but they ripen over a long period of time. I want to be able to pick them and then freeze them. Some of the pineapples that I've been harvesting, I already got the tops in the ground to get more pineapples going for next year or the year after. Here's a tropic snow peach tree. Probably need to straighten it out a little bit. There's an avocado from seed. And if you ever run over one with a lawnmower, they'll come back. That's what happened here. My son ran this over the lawnmower. See how well it's recovered? Some pineapples in here. I gotta pull some of the weeds out. Here is some elderberry. I did not plant this here. My wife has actually recently showed an interest in this, so she's been meaning to come out here and pick the berries. It does have berries on it, and it's been fruiting all summer long. Actually, I think it started in the spring. Here is a mango from seed that I used the philodendrons to protect it as it was growing. It finally broke through the canopy of the philodendrons, and it's growing much quicker now. This year it flowered, and I thought I was going to get some fruit from it to try and see what this is actually going to produce for me. But all the fruit fell off, so I just got to baby it next year. Whenever you got developing mangoes, you want to make sure you water them. This is my Shangri-La mulberry. The interesting thing about the Shangri-La is it has the same exact growth pattern as my native red mulberry that I got from a cutting from a Florida wild mulberry tree. So that's that tree right back there. Has large leaves. The berries are very good on it. It actually has the same taste as my native red mulberry. If you have access to wild mulberry trees in Florida, you might want to try that out, because instead of buying a Shangri-La, because it might be the same production level, the same flavor for the mulberries. I also hear that the Tice is supposed to be the same as the Shangri-La. Over here I have a mulberry that I grafted. It was sold to me as a Pakistan mulberry. I grafted it onto a native red mulberry. It's actually inferior, but it's a successful graft, and I thought it was kind of cool. So it's, however, not doing too well, but I'm trying to baby it now. Just put some wood chips around it, and it's starting to green up. Had a really yellowish leaf on it. Then my Brogden avocado. It's got some new growth. I know some of these leaves here look questionable, but the new leaves up here look pretty good. So it's hanging in there. We actually transplanted it and wasn't looking too hot once we transplanted it, but we think we're going to be able to get this to take. And then I have my Pine Island mango offsprings. Some of these are polyembryonic clones. Others are offsprings of monoembryonic mangoes. Here's that native red mulberry that I was just comparing with the Shangri-La. It had a lot of berries on it this year. They ripen over a long period of time, so you can come out here and get a handful of mulberries every day for, I don't know, it seems like a month and a half. So we'll go down here. This is my Barbados cherry. It doesn't produce for me. Every now and then I'll come out here and be surprised because I'll see like 3 or 4 red Barbados cherries on it, so it'll surprise me sometimes. It's flowering, as you can see. There's my coconut, which is not supposed to grow in this area, but it's doing fine. I do have it on the south side of this metal garage here, so I think I can. I'm hoping to get it to fruit for me. And then Malabar chestnut right there. It's growing real big. I'm allowing it to grow real close to that coconut in an effort to protect it from the cold. I have already trimmed back this Malabar chestnut, but it's just a heavy grower. And here's my jackfruit. I keep on checking this tree for blooms on the trunk because it fruits on the trunk. And it hasn't done it yet, so maybe next season. Pim Sung Mun mango here, doing just fine. It flowered this year, but I don't think it's getting enough sun. I need to get it bigger, get a bigger canopy so it gets more exposure to sunlight. It's in a protected area. I just want to keep it from the cold and just try to get it big and healthy, and maybe we can clean up the canopy a little bit. It's the area I need to take control of at some point. I'll put more fruit trees there one day. More pineapples, Echo White Mulberry that for some reason it puts a lot of mulberries out, but I never get to eat them. I don't know if they're falling off. I don't know if the animals are focused in on this one. I'm not sure, but it's growing real big. Here is my lychee from seed. It did have a branch fall on it, but I'll show you that. But I'm just going to let it heal up there. I was thinking about just topping it, but I think I'm just going to let it heal up. This is supposed to be the Pakistan mulberry. It fruited for me this year, but really the winner this year was my native red mulberry right behind me. So this tree here, this oak tree, fell down during Hurricane Milton. Actually, that was in the last garden tour video. I showed you this. So this is what I'm doing with it. I'm turning it into a dragon fruit trellis. So you can see I had a bunch of dragon fruit. They were in a pot, and they were a bonsai dragon fruit because they were really small for the longest time because I didn't ever transplant them. But went ahead and just planted them all here, and they're finally kind of getting themselves established. So I should have some yellows, some purples, and some whites. And for those of you that don't like the white dragon fruit, maybe you think it's bland whenever you've bought it from the store, grow it in your backyard and pick it fresh, and it is so good. It is really good. From the store, yeah, I agree with you. It's not that good at all. It's very, very bland. There's another lychee tree. This lychee tree is the same age as this lychee tree here, but it had full sun exposure as a little sapling and just didn't grow that well. But it's still alive, so we'll keep it going. So my papaya in the yard, the big ones, they all died from that extended cold weather. But the younger ones that were protected are popping up and doing fine. As you can see, we got some papayas there. There is some perennial peanut there. I do eventually want to go away from having wood chips and go to having plants as my living mulch or ground cover. More pineapples there. There's an angel trumpet, I think that's what they're called. I have let it flower, but I also use it as a chop and drop. There's a rain tree. I'm going to pull that out of there. Pineapples that I've picked already. Here's my jujube. It does have fruit on it. Earlier this year, I think it was January, I was coming out here and picking these fresh and just eating them. They're nice and crisp, just way better than those apples that have been in cold storage for like a year. So I'm just a big fan of these, and this has a ton of jujubes on it. I'm sitting there looking at all of them. It's kind of hard to spot maybe on the camera, but there's a lot of them on there. So super excited about that because this is just really good. This is a Thai giant. This is my loquat from seed. As you can see, it's got that oak tree hanging over it now. I will be cutting that back. Obviously, I'm going to keep the lower stuff in place for the dragon fruit trellis, but this stuff up here, I'm going to clear that out and open it up for these plants.